by the grace of God, I'm 11 years in marriage, and I understand that love in marriage will soon become sour if a man can no longer provide for his home. So that means there must be a balance. That means the man must be out to see how he will ensure that the home is provided for. And also, in as much as the man has to be out to provide for the home, there must be a balance to also ensure that that's your work, that we ensure that there's provision for the home. It's not taking all of your time. And there you should be able to. There must be a balance. There's no way work can be so serious that you will not be able to create time. What I'm saying is that there must be balance of ensuring that a man that cannot provide for his house, you see, the Bible said is worse than an infidel. So my advice for men is that we must try as much as possible, and God enable us to work in order to provide for our home. And also, we have to strike a balance to also ensure that we create time to always be available to also spend time with our family. Is very important. And that is the point I can share.
So provision for the family is something that cannot be done without. It's very key. So a family that there's no provision, they will go pathways very soon. So provision is necessary, quality time is necessary. So we must strike a balance between work and family, knowing fully well that when your family is at peace, your mind is at peace, everything concerning is at peace, you work freely in the office and you are much more efficient and effective at your place of work when your home is at peace. And this comes as a result of provision and quality time. So there must be balance. Thank you, sir. Our next question: how can a husband support his wife spiritually, and why is this essential for a healthy marriage? How can a husband support his wife spiritually, and why is this essential for a healthy marriage? Spiritual support. How can husbands support their wives spiritually, and how is this very important in making sure that the marriage moves forward?
Okay. How can a husband support his wife spiritually? Biblical view, when you look at it, the Bible says Jesus is the head of the church, and the husband is the head of the home, followed by the wife. That's the spiritual hierarchy. Now, as a man, you should know your place spiritually in your home, which means you should be the one, excuse me, in charge spiritually. And what do I mean? In every home, no matter the size of the man, it has been ordained that way, the way God made it. God, man, and the woman. See many homes today, most of the problem we have, the father is either his on the other side, the mother is the one doing the spiritual aspect of it, or probably the father is the spiritual aspect of it. Instead of pulling the wife and the children, he tends to leave them. I'll quote one of the statements of her father when I was reading one of his book. He said, on no account he should be in the church. So permit me to use that word. Why I'm using the church setting, because that's where I'm familiar with. On no account he should be in God's presence. Okay, I think that one is better. In God's presence, and the children will be at home. You see, that cannot happen. So in that context, you discover that for you to have a good spiritual background that has to do with your home, controlling your home spiritually, you as a man must be firm. You must know what you are doing spiritually. Because if you don't know your place as a man, as a spiritual head of the home, it will be difficult. But once you know your place as a spiritual head of the home, yes, to control it spiritually will not be an issue, because at every given time you take your family to prayer, you do all the needful that has to do with spiritual aspect of your home. Thank you.
So, sir, what of in a situation where probably before they got married or even while in the marriage itself, we know that there's this saying that it's women that goes to church most. Women, they are the one for church activities. What of in a situation where the woman is more highly spiritual, like spiritual, not activities this time, like highly spiritual than the man? How will the man be able to strike balance?
Okay, thank you very much. Just like what you said, if the woman is highly spiritual, how would the man strike a balance? There was a time I had a client, based on what I was doing, my field of work as an electrical engineer. That's my client. To an extent, the wife is highly spiritual than the husband. Guess what? God's word cannot be, you can't change it. The hierarchy is there. It has been ordained from the beginning. God, man, and the woman. So, in as much the woman is spiritual, it can't take the place of the husband.
No, sir, I'm not saying the woman should take place of the, like scripturally. Men, God has ordained it. Nobody's shifting it. Nobody's taking it out. Men are supposed to stand as the priests of their home, of their homes. Now, men standing as the priest of the home, it's the woman that does the spiritual activities more. From the question, I feel that men that are not that their wives are more spiritual than, should find a way to brace up themselves spiritually too, in making sure that there's a balance. As in making sure that you adhere to scriptures that said you are the priests of your home.
Okay.
So men should. That's what I mean.
Okay. I get your question now. In terms of men who are not matching up with the spiritual of their wives. Yeah. Okay, in that case, for me, I think it's in the duty of the wife to pray the man to that level, because the moment she's able to pray the man, if the man caught the fire, believe you me, you'll be shocked what will become of the man. So I think it's the duty of the woman to pray the man to that level. He might think he's actually being the head, he has a total control, but spiritual wise, he might not be there as a man. But since the woman had the knowledge that the husband is not there spiritually, and there's nothing wrong if he takes the husband a case as a prayer point, or talking to God about it. Before you know it, the man will become on fire spiritually, and his place in the home will not be overemphasized. Before you know, he will be in charge spiritually in the home. Thank you.
So for men to take their place, to become the priests in their homes, just as Christ has ordained them to be, they must be, their wives must take a very good stand in the place of prayer, making sure that their husbands get to that place and fulfill their God-ordained purpose, one of which is that they should be the priest and the head of their home spiritually. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. My colleague has explained details on that. And just a little that I want to add is that the foundation of marriage is, so it's God that originates marriage. So it's expected that it must be founded in I've discovered that true love is not just in frivolities. I've discovered I've seen a marriage where the man bought a car for the woman as a gift, and in few weeks the marriage shattered. So it's not about gift, it's not just about gifts, it's not just about frivolities. Actually, marriage that is founded in Christ is the marriage that will stand the test of time. So what is expected is that the man is the priest of the house. In terms of hierarchy, the way Christ, man is the priest of the house. So the man is expected to be spiritually higher. I heard of the case of Smith Wigglesworth, one of the men of God that did great exploit. I learned that it was even his wife that led him to Christ, and it was his wife that prayed him, and as a result of and as the man kept on exercising himself spiritually, he became very great, and he did so much exploit than even what the wife couldn't do. So what am I trying to say? So the point here is that every man should stand up to their responsibility of being the spiritual head of the house. And how do you do this? Is by taking the lead. By taking the lead. As you are growing spiritually, you must carry your wife along. You must carry your children along. They always say that a family that pray together will stay together. So what does that mean? Is that as you are growing spiritually, you must ensure that your wife is growing alongside. If your wife doesn't grow, it might become a barrier to your own spiritual flight with time. So what it means is that, because you may not even know where God is leading you to, you will become a pastor in future, become a priest in the church in future, and maybe your wife may not be able to meet up with the demand of it. So it's expected in the home, as a man is growing, ensure that your wife is growing and your children is growing spiritually. It is the spirit that controls the physical. So the place of the spiritual in the home cannot be overemphasized. Thank you very much.
So the spiritual controls the physical. So as you are growing as a man spiritually, make sure your wife is growing, your kids are growing, everyone is growing spiritually. And when the spiritual is working fine, the physical is just a wave over. It's something that is done already. Thank you, sir. So the next is, what are some practical ways to show love during difficult times such as conflict or stress? What are some practical ways to show love during difficult times such as conflict or stress?
Yeah, there are so many practical ways, but with time, with how God has helped me in marriage, I understand this. It will take two imbeciles that are married that there won't be conflict in the home. Any person that have said that I have never had any conflict with my wife, and I always assume that it will take it. When you see an imbecile, they're always laughing. Imbecile. So it take two imbecile, a man and a woman that are married, that there won't be conflict in the home. And I want to cite this example. In my workplace, anytime my team guys are having issues, and they come to me, I will tell them what we do is that we disagree to agree. We disagree to agree. When you disagree, we iron things out and we agree again. We must not allow it to exceed that moment. So what am I trying to say is that it takes two to fight. It takes two to fight. So when there is conflict in the home, it should always take one person to say I'm sorry. It will always take one person to when this one is fighting, when this one is fighting, this one is fighting. That is when there is fight in the home. And when one is fighting and one is saying I am sorry, there is no way that fight will continue. And so to resolve conflict in the home, you must just ensure that you are on the side of peace. Continuously be on the side of peace. Thank you very much.
So what's one of your practical way now is just be on the side of peace. Yeah. That's one practical way to show love during difficult time to your wife. Be on the side of peace. Be on the side of peace mean just be the first to say I'm sorry, whether you are the one that is wrong or not. There's no right or wrong. We are one here. So be on the side of peace. Thank you, sir.
Conflict in the home. How to show love. Wow. Okay. For me, I always use my own marriage as example. No matter the conflict, the first thing that comes to my mind, if Christ, who is the head of the church, is in this home, and perhaps, in physical form, what will he do? For me, each time I ask myself that question, the first thing that comes to my mind is just like what my colleague said. At all time, you should be able to let go, no matter the offense or wrong. You should be able to let go. Sorry should not be a word you owe as a high esteem. Any man in any marriage who imbibe in the culture of whether my wife is right or wrong, whether I'm the one right or wrong, he or she can easily say sorry. I tell you, they will have a good home. That's the truth. That's the truth. I've seen many occasions my wife will wrong me. Yes, I know she has done wrong. Yes, I have every opportunity to flare up and the rest. She's angry. She's the one that did wrong, but she's angry. I'll be the one to apologize. Why? Because I want peace in my home. So as a man, I know some men will say, this man is talking based on he doesn't understand. I like what my colleague said from the other side of our nation. And there are some people, you don't do that as a man. They will tell you you have lose your place. But I tell you, if you want a peaceful home, you want your home to run effectively the way Bible has stated it, you should be able to let go no matter the situation, no matter the conflict. In every crisis, demonstrate love. When you demonstrate love, you have indirectly passed peace to the home. That's the truth. If you demonstrate love, no matter how angry you are, you may be, if you can demonstrate love, you have passed peace to the home. Later, you might come back and tell her what she has done, but at that moment, let go as a man. If you are able to do that, you'll be able to resolve any crisis with love in the marriage.
The question is in two parts: conflict and stress. What of the stress aspect?
Okay. Stress aspect. Okay.
How do you show love when your wife is stressed?
When she is stressed, you would know as a man. At that point, you should be careful of what you say, because when one is stressed, definitely what you say determines our next action. Whether she would flare up or she will be happy depends on what you say as a man. Because if I'm stressed and you use a more or less like a verbal words that are not appealing to me, definitely I won't be happy. So as a man, you should be able to know what to say to your wife, especially your spouse, when he or she is stressed. Even if you are stressed as a man, that's why you are the head. You control your own. If she is stressed, be able to manage it. There are words you will say, before you know it, the stress is gone. The stress is gone. You know all our love language, like what we said. I know. Like me, if my wife is stressed, you have really done well. You have tried. It's enough. Just leave it. I will take care of the rest. But by saying that, even if she's expecting me, maybe she is acting based on the stress. Acting. Sometimes, when you're stressed, there are some things that will be coming out without you knowing. You are just displaying anger and the rest. As a man, if you are not sensitive enough, that can tear the home. But if you are sensitive enough, you should be able to know that, the stress is the brain behind all of this. So if you are able to tame it on time, like I said, you tell her some sweet words. What I used now, like what I said, you've tried, you've done enough, please, you need to rest. If women have this understanding that if I don't do it, who would help me and do it? The work will still be there waiting for me. But if he or she knows that when you are saying this thing, you meant it, I tell you, no matter the stress, you'll be able to control the home and manage the stress. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Okay, on the area of stress, yeah, and I think it's just for you to be there for her. Be there for her, then assist her. And the most something is actually causing the stress, and the stress is caused by something. And if it is maybe overburdened by something, then you can be there to assist her to ensure that the stress doesn't weigh her down. I think that is the major thing I need to say on that.
That's good. Thank you, sir.